Back to the channel, leave your city, state, and your business name in the comments and we'll be sure to shout you out on a later video. This video is congratulating a hypothetical esthetician, solo esthetician at that has hit $100,000 in revenue for the year. And that's a great benchmark, and that's a level that a lot of estheticians would like to hit. And it's a good thing, and you should be proud of yourself. But, you know, with great accomplishment comes problems. And there really are no good problems or bad problems, they're just problems. Because at $100,000 in revenue, I kind of know your story. And I know your story because I do numbers, because I'm on the numbers side of the business. Me and my wife have a 2-location spa in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I know at $100,000 revenue for a solo esthetician, you're seeing roughly 8 clients a day. You're working 5 to 6 days a week. And your average service per ticket, the average that people spend with you per visit, is around $50 to $55. That's your life, because those are the numbers of how you get to $100,000 as a solo esthetician. And what else I know about you is that you're maxed out. That's it. There's no more growth. You may have a slightly better month, but your max will only be at about $105,000 to $110,000 in revenue. And that's just revenue. And this is just something I know, again, because I do numbers. So you're gonna have to make some changes. And the solution to this problem, well, the solution should have came back when you were at about $60,000 revenue. That's okay, we can fix this. This video is more for the estheticians that haven't hit that $100,000 revenue mark, like my hypothetical esthetician. So I'm gonna tell you some frameworks that you need to be thinking about when you're at about $60,000 in revenue for the year. When you can project your year realistically to be about $60,000, you should start thinking about putting these things in place. And the first thing that you really need to start thinking about putting in place is a receptionist. Now, I understand a receptionist is really just an expense. That's how we look at our receptionists. It's just an expense. They don't produce income. Not like you being a solo esthetician. You actually produce income. They don't. But what they do is they give an enhanced experience that you now need to push that $60,000 in revenue to $100,000, or maybe that $100,000 in revenue to $120,000 to $150,000. Because the reality is, when you're maxed out, when you're booked and busy, and all of those little terms that people like to throw around, you can't stick your head out every time somebody walks in the door. You're not there to greet them. And it's no longer cute to walk your client out and check them out at an empty front desk. None of these things work anymore. You can't give your clients water. You can't tell your clients how long you're gonna be because somebody showed up late and now they're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. All of this is about experience now. Congratulations, but you have now stepped up into a different game, a game that has to be played more on customer experience than on your actual skill of being an esthetician. The second thing you're gonna need is a booking system. And I mean one, not that just schedules. There's a bunch of free ones around and maybe they're fine for you when you're not making so much revenue. But once your revenue increases, you need one that tells you where the money is coming from. Which services do better than others? What times do better than others? What days do better than others? How many new clients did you get? So these are things that you can now go back and track and say, hey, this offer is pulling, or this kind of marketing isn't pulling. These are things that enhanced booking system can show you that maybe your free one kind of can't. So you might have to step your game up and invest in something that can give you a more robust amount of information about how you're doing, because that's how you're gonna go from 100 to 150 in revenue. The third thing, well, it's kind of the hardest thing, and we'll have many videos on this later on, is you might have to look into hiring. This is really a daunting thing, and we talk to people and counsel people all the time on this subject. Hiring somebody gets you more capacity. And if you're at their $100,000 revenue mark as a solo esthetician, you're capacitied out. There is no other more room for you to grow. There just isn't. So you're gonna have to get two things actually. You're gonna have to get more space if you don't already have it. And then you're gonna have to get a person to put in that space. Because what that does is that gives you the potential to pull in more revenue. And I understand bringing on someone else is daunting because there's all these fears that I'm not even gonna list the fears. I already know what they are, but I'm not gonna list them. But the reality is you don't grow without doing it. Now, if you're fine with being where you are, you hit the $100,000 revenue mark, your profits are good, whatever they are, and you're fine, that's good. But on this channel, we're all about growth because we believe if you're not growing, you're slowly dying. And that's just the reality that we live at. But we're not knocking people that want to stay at that level. But if you want to grow at around the $60,000 revenue a year mark, you need to be looking at a larger space if it's a suite, or looking for a better location where you can expand and hire. I will say expand small. Don't go get a 14 suite place and think you're gonna hire 12 people. You won't. Just get an extra room, maybe 2 extra rooms, and hire 1 person and just figure this thing out as it goes along. So that's it. You've hit the $100,000 revenue mark. Very good for you. Go out and solve your problems. Hopefully this video provided a little bit of value and a little bit of insight on what you should be thinking about as your revenue grows. Hope y'all got something out of it. See y'all again next week.